Did we just see JAX'S downfall in episode 3? JAX'S character was definitely a fan favorite after episode 1, but episode 2 seemed to really divide the fandom. Like, do we hate him or do we love him? JAX'S intentions weren't clear because despite his harmless pranks in episode 1, he appeared to be straight up evil in episode 2. However, episode 3 might have settled the fans' debate by sidelining JAX. And this isn't news because Gooseworks shared on her Twitter after episode 2 that we're going to see less of JAX in the upcoming episodes, to focus on characters we know very little about, like Gangle, but JAX was a character who dominated from the very first minute of episode 1. He jumped in front of the camera, interrupted the other characters, and he even caused chaos in episode 2 by leaving the gate of the kingdom open, allowing the chocolate fudge monster to enter and eat all the residents. JAX thrived in the spotlight, and we saw this at the beginning of episode 3 as well. At the start, all the circus members were hanging out together, watching Pomni experiment with her character's limits, but JAX seemed overly pushy about finding out what Pomni could do with her character's body. And when Ragatha tried to tell JAX to take it easy, he immediately shut her down, explaining what the other characters experience when they hold their breath. And I think JAX was likely pushing every circus member to see what would happen to them if they didn't breathe, probably looking for ways to annoy or torture them with this information. However, he didn't share what happens to him, because then they would have something against him. And this isn't new. JAX has been secretive from the beginning, and we saw that his words often carry more weight than his actions. Like in episode 1 when he ran away as fast as he could after seeing that Kaufmo had abstracted, leaving Ragatha and Pomni behind. And this is interesting because it suggests that JAX only feels comfortable when he is in control and has the upper hand. For example, he probably realized that he wouldn't stand a chance against the abstracted Kaufmo, which is why he fled. Just as he left the scene in episode 2 when the circus members were discussing Kaufmo's funeral. JAX likely felt insecure about showing sadness and was worried he'd display too much emotion, something he wouldn't be able to control, so he didn't even attend the funeral. Going back to episode 3, JAX again broke the fourth wall by talking directly to the viewers. And this is intriguing. How could he know that they were in a show? Did Kane tell them when they were recording the theme song? It seems possible because the other characters weren't surprised by JAX's remarks, but they did appear annoyed. And he continued his tough guy act at the beginning of the episode, scaring Pomni right after she told Ragatha she doesn't handle jump scares well. JAX seems to especially enjoy annoying Pomni since she joined the circus, but Ragatha keeps looking out for her, indicating she will continue to call JAX out on his behavior. And this is especially relevant considering we saw them in episode 2 when JAX was sitting alone and Ragatha approached him, comforting him with the hope that maybe the next adventure would be more favorable for him. And I genuinely thought that JAX would love the Haunted Mansion adventure because he could go around and scare everyone. It was surprising to see him tied up while Ragatha, Gangle and Mrs. Mildenhall enjoyed tea. My guess is that Ragatha and Gangle tied him up because he was probably being extremely annoying and had caused enough trouble. They just wanted to enjoy a calm tea with a friendly NPC. And this is also significant because it indicates that all the characters are fed up with JAX at this point. Zubul even shared in therapy that JAX likes to mess with everyone. So maybe in the upcoming episodes we'll see the other circus members stand up to him. At the end of the episode, after the circus members returned from the adventure, Pomni was looking at Kinger, and when JAX stepped next to her and tried to badmouth Kinger, he realized that Pomni had a great time and simply walked away. So JAX was definitely being tested in this episode. It's becoming increasingly clear that he tries to maintain his sanity by seeking attention and control over the others, but it seems he's failing at that. So what's next for JAX? I think there are two possibilities. The first is that he'll eventually realize he cannot keep being the odd one out and continue torturing the others while everyone else genuinely cares about the others. Maybe JAX will come around and in the episode focusing on him, we see him open up about his feelings, leading to positive character development. The second option, one that seems more plausible, is that feeling increasingly ignored and unsupported in his cruel behavior, he might become even lonelier. And this could result in him devising more insane ways to torture the others. We saw in episode 2 how disappointed he was when he sat alone, complaining that the adventure was boring. It's possible that he'll try really hard to get the others' attention, but in the process, he will drift further away from everyone. Gooseworks did mention that JAX will become worse over time, and that only strong JAX fans will survive this show. So I think JAX knows no boundaries, and we'll see him do something truly terrible. And with episode 4 focusing on Gangle, I sincerely hope that JAX doesn't do anything bad to her. In episode 2, he seemed to take pleasure in overpowering her when he ordered her to drive into Gummigoo's truck, or when he blackmailed her about telling her secret to Ragatha. Maybe JAX will try to pull the strings from the background in episode 4. And and instead of everyone being fed up with him, he could trick the others into getting mad at each other, which would honestly be interesting to see. Anyway, it was entertaining to see Jax take a backseat in episode 3. I hope the other characters will finally find the courage to stand up to him when he's mean and annoying, because someone needs to put that rabbit in his place. Let me know what you think about Jax's journey in the circus so far, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.